Hi, I'm Kathleen Heffernan, author of the Bikini Model Cookbook, Bikini Model, expert chef, personal trainer, diet coach, and pilot. Today's recipe is called Piri Piri chicken, and it's a Portuguese word that means chili chicken. So this recipe actually has 15 Thai red chili peppers in it. So if you like spicy, this is going to be your new favorite recipe. You need 1 pound of chicken, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 15 Thai red chili peppers, the juice of 1 lemon, or about 1/4 cup. And it's really important that you use fresh lemon juice and not store-bought because we don't want any preservatives. We got 4 fresh garlic cloves. No powdered garlic, make sure you keep fresh garlic. It's really good for your health. We're gonna use a 1/4 teaspoon or so of sea salt, fresh pepper to taste, 1 tablespoon of paprika, and 1 teaspoon of ground cumin. So now we're gonna take all of the ingredients and throw them in a blender, give it a good blend, and then top it on top of the chicken and let it marinate. I made this homemade Thai chili sauce out of chili peppers before, and sometimes you need to like ventilate the windows if you're chopping a lot of chilies. So if you're sensitive to heat and things like that, you might want to do that wearing gloves, but it doesn't really bother me. So you can chop all these up. And you don't have to chop them too fine because the blender is going to do a good job on its own, right? All right, so that will be good. I'm gonna put these into the blender. All right, and then we chop the garlic. And you can use a garlic press or you can just chop it coarsely. It doesn't really matter. It's gonna get all blended up with the juice in the blender. Okay, so make sure that when you're chopping the garlic, that you get rid of the wrap. You don't want to eat that. All right, so instead of using store-bought lemon juice, I like to use fresh lemon. And you got to get rid of the seeds, which are kind of bratty, but yeah, make sure you get rid of all the seeds before you put it into the blender, otherwise you'll chop up the seed, which won't be the end of the world, I guess, but I've done it before. Just try and get rid of the seeds before you juice the lemon. So I use my fingers to get the juice out. There you go, get rid of all that. And then a tablespoon of olive oil goes right into there. And a tablespoon of paprika. Now be really careful when buying your paprika because sometimes they have some strange additives in it that you don't want. So read the side label, make sure that you know exactly what you're eating. So 1 tablespoon of paprika. Okay, so 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. And don't be too worried if extra falls in there. It's all good. And then 1/4 teaspoon of salt. But if you're trying to lean out, sometimes it's best not to use too much salt because it makes you retain water. And give it a good bit of pepper. So it's ready to get taken to the blender. So we don't want too thick of a paste, but just nice enough where it's kind of saucy. Oh, it's spicy, so careful of the fumes. I'm gonna grab a bowl, I'm gonna put the chicken in, I'm gonna pour the Piri Piri sauce on top. All right, so I'm ready to put the Piri Piri chicken sauce on top. It looks kind of like a sauté. It almost looks like there's peanut butter in there, but there's not. So I like to use a little bit of water to like clean out the top sides of the blender to make sure that it's all getting into the pan. Water is just gonna get absorbed into the chicken. So what I'll do is I'll take a little bit of water and I'll put it around the edges of the blender and I'll kind of moving around the blender, trying to use up as many chilies as I can to get it on top of the chicken. We don't want anything to go to waste here. Okay, so using the same spoons from before, I'm just gonna give it a good stir and let it seep into the meat. Now if you want, you can put little slits inside the meat so that it really absorbs deep into the meat tissue. Okay, so I'm gonna put this into the fridge, let it marinate for a couple hours, and come back to it, put it on the barbecue. Okay, so for the barbecue, what I do is I turn it on high, and I let the temperature come up really high for about 5 minutes. I just let the heat last. All right, you throw the chicken on top. All right, this little guy is gonna burn quick, so I'll put him near the bottom. All right, and then you cover it. And you bring the temperature down to low or medium low. And then we time it for about 4 to 5 minutes per side. All right, so here's the finished product. I just love the Piri Piri chicken. It's super yummy. I like to serve it with the Indian lentil bean stew. It's super yummy, easy for meal prep. You got your 5 lentil stews, and you just top it with a little bit of chicken, and you've got 5 meals to go. I'm Kathleen Heffernan. Thank you for watching. Follow my YouTube channel at Kathleen Heffernan, and you can find all my recipes at www.thebikinimodelcookbook.com.